Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me on another edition of BrainScratch Searchlight. Before I begin this one, I just have to say, for all of you guys, you know how much I care about my viewers and commenters. Let me just recommend, if you are ever in a car accident, particularly in a rural part of the country, please, please, please do not leave your car. On Searchlight today, we're going to cover another instance of a person who gets in a car accident and is now missing. This is the story of Shane Michael Fell. We're going to start with, once again, our good friends at charleyproject.org. They do excellent work in terms of summarizing these cases and collecting key information such as pictures here. The vital statistics at the time of disappearance: he's been missing since June 10th, 2011, from Marrero, Louisiana. Classification is lost, injured, missing. Date of birth, October 9th, 1974. He was 36 years old when he went missing. I believe now he would be 41, if I'm doing my math right. Height and weight, 6 foot to 6'2", 190 to 210 pounds. Distinguishing characteristics: Caucasian male, brown hair, hazel eyes. Fell wears contact lenses. He has a scar on his chin, a mole under his left eye, and acne scars on his face. Clothing jewelry description: a long-sleeved white dress shirt with vertical brown stripes, blue jeans, black dress shoes, and a cloth bracelet. Medical conditions: Fell may have been injured in the car accident and may be suffering from a concussion. Here we've got the details of his disappearance. Fell was last seen in Marrero, Louisiana on June 10th, 2011. He was driving his car on River Road between Marrero Road and Klein Road when he lost control of the vehicle, flipped it, and landed in a small ditch. Fell was able to climb out of the passenger window, and he answered a cellular phone call from his brother shortly thereafter. During the conversation, he sounded alert and coherent. His brother and the police arrived at the scene of the accident within 20 minutes, but by then Fell was gone, leaving one of his shoes behind. He has never been heard from again. His family believes he might have suffered memory loss and tried to return to the Savannah, Georgia area where he had lived for several years before coming back to his home state of Louisiana. The circumstances of his disappearance are unclear. And that might be an understatement. This is one of those cases I really wanted to cover, first of all, because there is a lack of information. There is a lack of media around this. If you search for Shane Fell on YouTube, you will only see, I believe, 3 videos related to this, or I'm sorry, 2 videos and a playlist of shorter videos. We're going to watch a little bit of one of those here in a moment. There is not a lot of info out there about that. That being said, there is a healthy Facebook page we're also going to review, and obviously behind all that there is a family that cares very much about Shane, driving ongoing efforts to keep his memory alive and the hopes of finding him. But when you talk about a scene like this, man, I mean, it's got to be very, very tough to remain optimistic. You have the car completely upside down. He had to crawl out of the passenger side door, and he's left a shoe behind. So apparently you would think he was in some type of distress. Was it an injury? Now here's the other weird aspect. His brother was talking to him on the phone. So there is some information about the accident relayed to his brother, but nothing that I could find where he was, telling his brother he had any particular injury of any type, or given his brother any reason why he would be fleeing the scene. Of course, I know some of you out there are probably thinking, well, is there any potential that he was intoxicated, he didn't want to be found by police? I think, in cases like this, you have to consider that might be a possibility. But when you've flipped a car, if you are injured, once again, if you're a fan hearing this, please, please, please stay at the car, wait for the authorities. Whatever you're going to go through in terms of getting in trouble is nothing compared to what the families go through when these people go missing. And I'm just very surprised at how often these cases wind up in this state, or at least the cases that I'm reviewing. I think this is the third, maybe fourth one now that I've reviewed where there's been a car accident and a person has gone missing from that scene and they have not been found for years. And we're now coming up on 5 years of him being missing. So this is a video by Rick Brown. It's another thing that's unfortunate. The videos about this case don't have a lot of views. There is a video that was recorded by his brother that looks like it has, I think it has 7,000 views, so definitely got a good run of attention there. And it's basically his brother just asking for people to call into a tip line. As usual, I'm going to have contact information in the description box below for you to use if you have any information about what happened to Shane Fell. But back to this video by Rick Brown. Rick, I don't know if he's a family member. It seems like he's a family member. He throughout this video series, there's 4 kind of short videos. They're about a minute each, but he's essentially describing the scene, and this is the scene of the accident.
Okay, so in the direction of travel, coming into the curve here, that point that he went off the road, just past that last yellow arrow, the yellow sign with the black arrow on it, it's not hard to, at night, I've driven it at night, it's not hard to mistake it if you're not paying attention as part of the road. You realize how mistaken you are when you see the big ditch in front of you, and that's the ditch that he went into. When he tried to correct, it dug the left front nose of the car, the left front corner of the car down into the...
Alright, so right here, these posts that are up, that's actually marking where the car had landed, and it went end over end, so essentially you have the trunk continuing to face forward, the hood facing back this way, and him crawling out of the passenger side door. And his shoe was found in the mud just right behind this accident area. So they do have an official website, helpfindshanefell.com. There is a video that is on the homepage there, but it has been set to private, so it seems like it's been taken offline for some reason. I don't know what it was supposed to be. But they have a very good FAQ section, and this FAQ doesn't only give you insight into their search for Shane, but just anyone's search for anyone that's missing, all the steps that these families are going through in the days after, things that they have to rule out. So we know where the accident took place. Have the police tried to contact the cell phone carrier? Yes, although his phone doesn't support GPS, the cell phone carrier has been contacted with regard to pinging cell towers. Have all the hospitals in the immediate and surrounding areas been contacted regarding Shane Fell and John Doe's? Yes, all area hospitals have been contacted. Hospitals on the North Shore, South Shore, and many psych wards in those areas as well have also been checked. This is an ongoing process. Have boats been through the river looking for Shane? Yes, there have been search boats out on the waterways looking for Shane multiple times. Has there been any searching conducted by air? Yes, multiple helicopters have been out searching for Shane by air. Have dogs been out to search? Dogs were sent to search 4 days after the accident. Unfortunately, the grass had been cut and it had rained. Has anyone checked to see if his credit cards or bank accounts have been accessed? The accounts have been checked and no funds have been used since. Has anyone contacted the Nancy Grace Show? Has anyone contacted Unsolved Mysteries? Apparently neither of those shows have featured this story yet, but they give you contact information there. So if you want to help Shane in that way, please feel free to come to this FAQ page, use that contact info, and send a message to those productions. Has anyone checked with his medical insurance to see if it's been used? Yes, the HR department where he works has been contacted, and his medical insurance has not been used as of this time. Have local cab companies been contacted? Yes, local cab companies been contacted. Have motels, hotels in the area been checked? Have the police reviewed security camera feeds? Have homeless shelters been checked? You can see that this family has gone to extraordinary lengths, a lot of research, contacting many, many people and organizations trying to find Shane, and they just really haven't been given any great leads to do so. Now I looked for recent news on Shane. This is the most recent I could find from WGNO.com. Hope remains 2 years after Shane Fell went missing. And it's basically just an article going over the brief story of what happened, a comment from his sister-in-law, Amber, and a statement that the family believes Shane is out there somewhere and someone knows something. And that's about it. They also have a link to the Help Find Shane Fell website, but a very, very brief article, once again just pointing back to the fact that this case is not receiving a ton of media or attention, and that's a big part of the reason why I decided to feature it today, and I'm really, really happy that you're checking this out. This is the Help Find Shane Fell Facebook page, and really tugs at your heartstrings to see this page and the messages that they're sending to Shane, family members, letting him know that they love him, telling him Merry Christmas, happy birthday wishes from his family members. And here a photo album for Shane's prayer vigil from 2015. This is just from June 2015. You can see that they're releasing some balloons here. And that is a common thing that I've been hearing about as I've become closer to these missing person investigations. Releasing balloons seems to be something that is somewhat therapeutic. It's a good reason for people to get together. And sometimes they will actually attach information to the balloons, which might also be helpful. We did an experiment way back when I was in elementary school where we attached notes to balloons and we set them adrift. And I remember being contacted about our balloon in particular. I think it was a month later, and someone had found it somewhere, found the note, and called us back about it. So believe it or not, it's not a horrible way to spread the word about Shane. And they have been very good about doing these prayer vigils and balloon launches, I think every year since he has disappeared. As a matter of fact, one of the few news segments I was able to find on this is from WDSU. Family of Shane Fell marks 2-year anniversary of his disappearance. So once again, this is back to June of 2013, but here's a clip of one of these balloon releases.
1, 2, 3. Come home, man.
My little boy is still out there, so, you know, we just continuously look. There'll never be a day that I've breath in my body. Never a day will go by that we won't continue to look for him.
Now, this is officially a cold case now. The family says it hasn't got much in terms of tips in the last year, but it isn't giving up hope yet. Rachel.
And neither are we. So this is where I turn it over to you. If you have family or friends, particularly in the Louisiana area, please, please, please share this video, share the links below, get that information out on your social media, and help get some more exposure to Shane. And hopefully someone out there with some information might be able to let his family know where he is, or even some clues as to where he is. Just to touch on some of the stuff I've read, there is a theory that he might not remember who he is. As we read on the Charley Project, he might have tried to head back to Georgia. There were some homeless people that claimed that they had seen Shane or someone calling himself Shane around that time. I'm not sure about traffic in the area, if other people might have driven by this crash scene that might have seen something, maybe have not come forward yet. There's just all this lingering doubt in my mind that all the information that's out there has gotten funneled back to the family, because quite honestly, there's not a ton of coverage on this case from what I can see. And it seems to be getting thinner as the years go on. So let's do a big boost of awareness here on Searchlight, and hopefully we can help this family in some way gain some new information about Shane. Thank you. This actually came in as a suggestion from you guys, the viewers and commenters. I truly appreciate all the feedback and help you give me. Also worth noting, I am looking to cover more stories like this, where the media might be thin on it. Maybe you know about it personally because it happened in your area, but you've never seen big coverage on it. I looked through several suggestions to find today's episode, and some of the suggestions, the cases have had mega media coverage. And one of the points of this show in particular for me is I'm trying to highlight cases where the media coverage either never got that big in the first place, or maybe it did have some light major media coverage that has since died down. So just so you know, those are the cases that I'm looking for most for featuring on this show. Thank you all. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time on the Geek and Dorks channel.